The last time I was at my mother's garden, I built her a planter. Now I'm back to build her a sectional so that she can entertain her friends. Brothers and sisters, before we get started, I'd like to welcome all my new subscribers and my old subscribers, because in this channel, you'll be inspired and powered to build such as this beautiful sectional for my mother's garden. For this project, you would need an impact driver, a circular saw, a reciprocal saw, a jigsaw, and an 18 gauge brad nailer, and along with a combination square and a pencil. And for materials, you need a total of 15 2x4s and 5 2x2s, and along with 2.5-inch screws. You're gonna start off by making the seating frames first for the project. In order to do that, you're gonna take 2 of the 72-inch boards and 2 21-inch crossbars. You're gonna set them up horizontal and parallel. Before I drive in my screws, I got into the habit of countersinking, and I often use a very good trick. Go towards the tip of the board, align it with the other end, strike a pencil, take out your countersink drill, and drill as many holes as you desire within that space. And if you do this trick, you're guaranteed a perfect drill all the time. Now, all you have to do is just flip it and do the same thing for the other side. Now, just drill accordingly on both ends. Look at that. The screws are going right in. I have built a bench before, but never a sectional. Actually, this will be my first time building one. Now that the seating frame is completed, we can start working on our seating boards. The seating boards are the 22-inch cross boards, which off camera that I had cut. And of course, brothers and sisters, I will leave you with a list of all the materials, tools, cuts that you need to help you build this sectional inside the description box right below this video. I learned it's very important that you make all your cuts the day before you start assembling your project. And that's how I was able to have all my crossboards ready for this project. So, brothers and sisters, try it out. Next time, make your cuts beforehand and you'll realize how much time that you will save. Make sure to line up all your crossboards properly. Once you do that, get a scrap piece of wood and then line them up in between the crossboards so you can get proper spacing. After adding my spaces, I realized that the boards wasn't sitting straight, so I took out my 18 gauge brad nailer and I went to work. I was really impressed that I took out my 18 gauge brad nailer to do the work, and boy did that went by so quick. And it made it a whole lot easier for me to just do this, because the fact that what I was going to do is take out my clamps and clamp each board to the seating frame. But I'm glad I didn't have to do that, and I just used my head and I was able to just pre-drill. And as you can see before, I took out the hammer and I started hammering all the little nails that brad nailers that didn't make it through. So wow, I'm glad that I was able to thought of this, and man, was I really impressed. Guys, this is really starting to look marvelous. Now I'm adding my sectional to this seating frame. And guys, listen, if you really like this video, give me a like. It won't hurt. Thank you very much. Now, once I was finished with the sectional part, I started adding in my legs. I took out my clamps and then I used a spacer to get the proper measurements for all my legs. This process worked out great. I clamped the legs to the material, and guess what? I took out my 18 gauge brad nailer, a 2.5-inch screw, and then my impact drive. All of a sudden, this happened. Instead of putting the legs in the inside of the frame, I installed them on the outside. And for this type of butt joint, I thought it would be a whole lot stronger if it was placed inside. Towards the end of the project, I end up making the necessary changes. Now let's get back to business. I took out my recip saw and cut down the legs of the sectional. Then I took out my tape measure and carefully made some measurements. Afterwards, I took out my circular saw and made some cuts. You know the rule, measure twice, cut once. Right about now, the sectional is starting to look really nice. Off camera, I had pre-drilled all my holes on the crossboards for the sectional. At first, it was somewhat of a challenge, but I was able to maneuver just to drill in my 2.5-inch screws for the crossboards on the sectional. The reason why I had a challenge was because I wanted to align my cap camera so I can deliver the best possible angle for you guys. Once again, I took out my 18 gauge brad nailer to secure the back of the sectional. Afterwards, I assembled the armrests. I wanted to add a little excitement to the armrests. So therefore, I thought how nice it would look if I made them round instead of the square shape. At first, I started using a regular bottle cap, and then I tried using a regular 1 gallon of small paint can. It worked out great. So I took out my pencil, I went around the can on both sides, and then I took out my jigsaw, and then I made the cuts. I really did a good job, if I have to say so myself. So I took out my sander and I started sanding the sectional. So it's really an option. It's really up to you if you want to sand or if you want to just leave it like that. But if you're planning to just leave it with that wood finish, then I guess you have to sand. But I've decided to sand and paint to give it that nice coat and finish. My mom picked out the color blue, which is actually my favorite color. And there you have it, brothers and sisters. The Garden Sectional bench. Really nice, right? From this to this. Nice. I really like it. I hope that I encourage you to build this garden bench sectional. Okay? Alright then. My name is Benoit Sherry. Peace out.